Like I said to you yesterday, we'll continue on the subject of the systems of giving. And today we'll major mostly on the tithe, but also create before the tithe some sort of a background or backdrop to help in learning what giving really means. What giving really means. So we want to start with Leviticus 27 verse 30 to 32. Leviticus. Those of you connecting online or those of you that get this video on YouTube, the Lord bless you. Make sure you share this video with others. Leviticus chapter number 27. Let's start in verse number 30. Now, the statement that I should read before this is that giving money to church is a sacred spiritual act. The Lord considers it to be an holy expression. So giving money is sacred. It is holy unto the Lord. So we'll start from verse 30. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord. If a man will at all redeem aught of his tithe, he shall add thereto the fifth part thereof. And concerning the tithe of the head or of the flock, even whatsoever passes under the rod, the 10th shall be holy unto the Lord. So the emphasis here in the book of Leviticus is to give a description of how the tithe must be handled. But this then also applies to every offering that has to be given by people to the Lord. So the Bible is telling us that the offering of the Lord, the tithe of the Lord, is holy. What is it? Holy. The other part says in verse 30, go back to verse 30 please. 27 verse 30. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, it is the Lord's. Who does the tithe belong to? The Lord. The tithe belongs to the Lord. So if I were to give you preemptively, I would say that no one is allowed to decide for the Lord his money. You understand? In fact, it's fraudulent. It's thievery for you to take what doesn't belong to you and use it. Have you seen people that do that? Look at me. Imagine I come into your house one afternoon or one morning. I wake up, I come into your house. Then when I get there, I open the door by force. Boom! I get in. And then I go to your pantry. I start taking food, throwing some down, doing whatever I want to do with it. As much as you know me to be Bishop Adam, but you'll be very, very disturbed, if not even offended. Say, man of God, what got into you? You understand? And then after that, I begin to say things to you as if I'm angry at you. Then you say to me, but you came into my house to take what belongs to me. I should get you arrested for stealing from me. The law doesn't arrest people, but the principle still applies. Can I give you another point? When you give in church, it should be sacrificial. Giving in church must be sacrificial. There are 3 Bible examples that we can use for that. Genesis 22 verse 2, you can write it down. 2 Samuel 24 verse 4. And John 3 verse 16. Giving should be sacrificial, especially when it is demanded for. Giving should be sacrificial. Yes. So when they demand a sacrifice, you must give. So we have Bible verses, Genesis 22 verse 2, 2 Samuel 24 verse 24, and John 3 verse 16. Genesis 22 verse 2. Let's read it. Verse 1 says, "And it came to pass after these things, that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am." Let's read verse 2 together. 1, 2, 3, go. And he said, "Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him therefore a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of." What was Isaac asked? What was Abraham asked to give? His son. His only son. Do you see that there? What was he asked to give? His only son Isaac. I like that. Thank you for adding that. So that is sacrifice there. It is what? Sacrifice. So it's not every time that the church calls you to give sacrificially. Do you know that? It's not every time. The tithe is not a sacrifice. 10% of what you have, giving it, is not considered a sacrifice. I know you are saying, I do not have much, but the tithe is not a sacrifice. It's standard procedure. I don't like the way you're quiet. The tithe is what? Standard procedure. Standard procedure, right? Right. How many of you grew up back then? And I know they're quite elderly. Most of you are very elderly. If you remember, in the 90s, there was a time in our country where rice and chicken were eaten either on special occasions, if not once a year, especially on Christmas. You remember that time, right? Yes. So if you're from the raw area, they would catch the biggest cockerel, and they would chop its head, and it was rice and chicken. It was a high event. It was special to us. We considered that mom and dad have done a sacrifice for us. They gave us what they love the most. You understand? Yes. And during that time, most of us would behave well, dress well, as we expected. Obviously, now things have opened up in the country. We now eat rice and chicken as and when we want. But there is something special. There's a special meal that you have at a particular time. Right. So here the Lord is saying to Abraham, you love your special meal. Do you understand? Yes. On the day of rice and chicken, you're being asked to give your plate to someone else. Does it make sense now? So if you give somebody 2 slices of bread, it's not a sacrifice, standard procedure. So the tithe is standard procedure. Tell your neighbor. The tithe is standard procedure. It is expected of you to pay 10% of everything you get back to the Lord, because it belongs to the Lord. So let's go further now. Others say the tithe is an Old Testament principle. It is not true. The tithe is not an Old Testament. When we deal with the Testament, we are dealing with what we would reference as covenants. So when you consider the covenants of the Bible, there are 2 main covenants that we try to consider. When we reference it as the Old Covenant, and the new covenant is the one that is in Christ. The old covenant is the one that is before Christ. And when people think and reference the tithe as an Old Testament principle, they are looking at it from the lenses of the Mosaic writings, what Prophet Moses wrote as the law to Israel. But if you study very well, the tithe is not Old Testament. It is found firstly mentioned in the Old Testament section of the Bible. That is in the book of Genesis 14. But when you read that context and that story, there was no law that was given as yet, because Prophet Moses was not yet born. So give me Genesis 14 verse 20. The first time the word tithe is mentioned is when Abraham gave a tithe to Melchizedek. So Genesis chapter number 14. Verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which has delivered thine enemies into your hand. And he gave him tithes of all. So here we see Melchizedek, who is a priest of the Most High God, receiving the tithe of all from Abraham. Do you understand that there? So he received what? 10%. When you bring it back home, this is the first time that the tithe is given. And then there are other Bible verses that follow through after that. This one is important, but let's not stay there because we've got so much to teach today. Your tithe goes to the house of God, and it is received by your pastor. What did I say? So let's give an example. I know there's gift there, and then there's Baba Mtengwa. So Baba Mtengwa says the house of the Lord is the church. Then he says, I'm taking my tithe, I'm going to go and I'll give it to gift, because gift is in the church. It's erroneous. That's not the order of God. Do you understand? Because he is not an ordained representative of God in that system. Is he a child of God? 100%. Does he love Jesus? Very much he loves Jesus. Does he sometimes have prophecies that he gives? He 100% gives prophecies. But the system did not say, go and give it to your brother. Do you understand? You give it to a man ordained in authority by God to represent him in that place. Do you understand now? Yes. So suppose Baba Mtengo and his wife are at home, and then they say, Nasi tukitra church pamba pedu. Understand? So they say, we're going to pray at our house. And they say, we're angry with Bishop. We don't want to go to church. We're not going to church today. We're going to do church at our house today. So the church service starts. They sing songs. Then it's now time to pay the tithe. They are not allowed to pay the tithe to one another. Do you hear me there? Because that's not the officially ordained system of God. Are you tracking with me? Yes, there are people that are like that like to violate the things of God for personal gain. So in comes, for example, people that say, I will give my tithe to the poor. It's not God's system. Are they allowed to give to the poor? Yes, you must give to the poor. We spoke about it yesterday, and we said you must have love and compassion. You must love God's people. You must love the people you fellowship with. There are people that are struggling that you can actually extend a help. But you're not allowed to take your tithe and say, I'm going to give this to the poor. That's not the way God created the system. Do you understand? Now, there are others that are very powerful. They even say, I want to eat my tithe. Do I have a church here? Yeah, they go ahead, they begin to eat their tithe. That's not God's model. That's not God's plan. God's plan for you is not to eat your tithe. Your tithe must go to the house of the Lord. And there the priest will command a blessing. So suppose I then call Pastor Smith. I say, Pastor, you're an ordained pastor. I'm giving you an assembly to go and pastor. In that assembly, you must receive the tithe. And when you receive it, Command a blessing. What is to command a blessing? Is to speak words. The Lord bless you. The Lord cause his face to shine upon you. Be thou favored. Are you listening to me? Yes. Sometimes because of administrative purposes, you may not be able to say it to the person in person. But make sure as you hold the envelope, as you hold the money, you are commanding the blessing. Are you tracking with me? So a responsible pastor, every time the offering is given, the tithe is given, they'll pray for it. Other people prefer to say, let's pray publicly so that people can see that we prayed for the offerings. It's still okay. Others would then say, okay, once it comes now into the main accounts and the offices and the back office, that's what the men of God will start to pray now and command the blessing to rest upon the people. Is that lesson very good for you? Yes. So the tithe goes to the house of God, and the men of God will command a blessing even upon you. Here we see that Melchizedek gave a blessing to Abraham. He commanded a blessing. What did he do? So now when you pay your tithe now, the commanded blessing of the Lord starts to operate over you. That commanded blessing is increased opportunities. It is energy to literally wake up and go and work. Have you not seen people in life? You know them in your communities. Some of them are your relatives. They don't have a drive to work. They just sit down. They wait for someone to come and give them. Sometimes they even go to the workplace where they're supposed to work, but they get there, they sit lazing around the whole day. And you're wondering, what's happening? You even try to address them. You're making a mistake. You are addressing a spiritual principle using natural laws. You won't win. That person actually needs to be taught the correct thing. Pay your tithe. When you pay your tithe, there is a spiritual energy that is released. Are you tracking with me? Yes. Now, to show you that sometimes non-tithers are under serious trouble, you hear a person at 38 saying, I want to retire. You want to retire from work to do what? 38, you want to retire and do what? They retire, they go, they sit home. They say, no, the supervisor was frustrating me, so it was better for me to retire. Okay, fine, they retire or they resign, whatever, they're given a package. It's only $15,000, nothing more than that. And they don't do anything with it. They're paying rent. By the time it's finished now, they're now running around, they're saying, now I need money. No, it's because they weren't a tither. Are you still with me today? Yes. Deuteronomy 12, verse 11. Then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name, there you are to bring everything I command you. To the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name. Let me give you an example here. How many of you know a beer hall or a club somewhere in Harare? Club. They're clubs, right? Right. Would you associate the name of the Lord with a club? Would you wake up on a Sunday and say, I'm going to pray to God? And then you go to the club? No. When you want to pray, where do you go? Church, right? So the name of the Lord is identified with the church. Okay, who knows a bank in Zimbabwe, any bank? Right. Have you ever woken up and said, I want to go and buy bread at the bank? Why? It's not associated with bread. Do you understand? So I can't wake up on a Saturday morning and go to the bakery and say, I've come here to offer my sacrifices to Elohim. I want to pray. I want to honor. It's not correct. You see that there, right? So the name of the Lord is associated with the church. The Lord has commanded that his name be in the church. Do you understand? So now he then says, then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name, there you are to bring everything I command you. Your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes and your special gifts, and all the choice possessions you have vowed to the Lord. Already we see so many things there. You are to bring burnt offerings, your sacrifice, your tithes, your heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice vows which you vow unto the Lord. So we're being told now that the tithe is going to the house of the Lord. Do you see that there? Yes. Are there poor people around? Yes. Do they need help? Yes. But the tithe doesn't go there. Once upon a time, there was a certain sister. This sister liked me. Then I was married. She liked me. She wanted me to be her husband. So I looked at her. I said, you are a good woman. I wouldn't mind getting married to you. But can I just talk to you just a little bit, just to get to know you? So as we began to talk, she then said, this for me removed her from the picture. Completely. This is what actually, in fact, if I were to tell her one day, I'll tell her that this is what disqualified you. So she says to me, I give my tithe to the poor. It's better to help the poor in the street than to bring my tithe to church because pastors spend. I said, and you want me to marry you with this poison in your head? You understand? Yes. So there are people like that. They say, I'll give my tithe to poor people. I'll go. I remember we once pastored a certain lady in this church. And so I was watching the giving. I said, I'm not seeing your tithe, because I asked, where is your tithe? She said, no, me, man of God, there's a children's home that I go every month. I buy groceries. I said, you do good. I said, what money do you? He said, I use my tithe for that. I said, where did you get it? He said, it's better than to bring it to churches. I said, and I'm pastoring you. So I rebuked her. I said, you don't do that. You bring your tithe here. And ever since then, she got offended. Yes, you could find her in church. She didn't stop coming to church. She just said, I'll partner with the ministry, but I'll send my tithe. I said, no, that's not the way we do it. You understand? Yes. After a while, she then left the church. I wasn't really troubled by what she was doing, because she wasn't fitting in. Your tithe goes to church. What did I say? Now, let me qualify something, because it's also important. There are certain people that are very irresponsible. Understand? So right now, I know we have a television ministry. Right? And there are people, Pastor, that connect to a television ministry that don't necessarily fellowship with us. You understand? Now, they have a pastor that they fellowship with. Local pastor. Some are, let's speak, for example, Kwekwe as a city. They actually attend the church at a certain church in Kwekwe. They sit there, they are fed correctly. They are part of that. But they love our ministry. They listen to our ministry. They follow through our ministry. And you find those people are very strange, because they take their tithe and they put it on television ministry. And they neglect the local church. Now, even me saying this is very difficult, because people say to me, so are you saying we shouldn't send money to you? No, you can send money via the television ministry. You can send your partnership if you choose to partner with the church. You can send a free offering. You can sow a seed. The tithe goes to the local house where you're fed. So once upon a time, true story, a certain young man, I was in Headcliff. Then we didn't even have television ministry. But I was a traveling preacher. So people would know me as a traveling. I would come and preach powerful, and things were happening. So I come to that place as I'm preaching, powerfully so. The young man comes to me after the service. Because it was a revival service, revival week. So I think I was now on day number 3, 4. And I think the word I was preaching was hitting him hard. And I was also touching on some areas of tithes and offerings. So he comes after the service holding money. He says to me, man of God, this is my tithe. I said, your tithe? Why are you giving it to me? It must be put in the church. He says, inini shokorenyu ndorno nyatsonditira. So he wanted to give me his tithe on account of the fact that the word I was preaching. But I said to him, no, you can't do that. Because the other pastor there that's pastoring you, I would have been unkind to him. Understand? So imagine, I know Pastor Matthew listens to Theophilus Sunday's ministry. So he does listen to it. And then he's getting blessed by Theophilus Sunday. And then he says, if I compare Sunday service na Theophilus Sunday, Bishop Adam na Theophilus Sunday, life extension, I think Theophilus Sunday, I'm going to start to send my tithe to him. Now what happens to me here? Because when I'm counting 1. 2. So now I'm going to be without resources. So, but is Theophilus Sunday's ministry blessing you? Yes, it is. So why don't you send an offering to him for the way he's blessing you? That's the system of God. Yes. Hey, do I have a church here? Yes. That's the system of God. So once upon a time, my sister, biological sister, blood. I entered my prophetic elements. My eyes open, voop. I begin to tell her things that are happening. And then I give her things, and then I give a word, and the prophecies are confirmed. Things happen very well. So immediately, because she's learned the lesson, she just asked for my account. She sent money. I said, God bless you. Then she said to me, where should I send my tithe? Now, remember, this is my blood sister. It's my what? Blood. It's so easy to give an instruction. To say, these are the Life Excellence Church banking details. Send it there. Send money. Hurry up, send. Yeah. You understand? But I said, you got a pastor who's pastoring you. I can't be unkind to that man. Even though he might not even need it. Because they have so much. But the principle cannot be violated. Do you understand? So in the same manner, you cannot eat your tithe. It's a violation of principle. You cannot take your tithe and go and give it to a man that you are feeding and enjoying his ministry. No. As long as you've got a pastor in your life, that pastor has been given responsibility by God to oversee you. Do you understand? So your tithe goes there to that church, and then your offerings can go there. Why? Because the Lord has commanded that this is where the money should be. Are you tracking with me? So, like I said to you yesterday, if everyone pays their tithe, churches would be okay. Pastors' salaries would be paid. People would enjoy church more. Now, as I was studying today, there is a Bible verse I wanted to show you. We're still in the tithe, but I think I need to just digress and show you. Go with me to 2 Chronicles 31 verse 4. 2 Chronicles 31 verse 4. If I can get the Amplified version, it will be good. I'll read the ESV, King James Version. But if you can get an Amplified for yourself, it will be good for you. 2 Chronicles 31 verse 4. When I read this one, it touched me heavily. 2 Chronicles 31 verse number 4. 2 Chronicles. And then we'll go back to verse 11 later, but just put the whole of 2 Chronicles 31. You're already there. That's good. Let's read it together. 1, 2, 3, go. Moreover, he commanded the people that dwell in Jerusalem to give the portion of the priests and the Levites, that they might be encouraged in the law of the Lord. Let me read the Amplified Version. He commanded the people living in Jerusalem to give the portion due to the priests and the Levites, that they might be free to give themselves to the law of the Lord. The ESV version says, Pastor, and he commanded the people who lived in Jerusalem to give the portion due to the priests and the Levites, that they might give themselves to the law of the Lord. You understand? So now, when you withhold your tithe, you are making it hard for the pastor to serve. Are you with me? Yes. So now, the pastor has to wake up every morning. Instead of him to pray, search the scriptures, find quality word for you. He wakes up, Uyo, kumaricho. Akutanga kushanda. Understand? Yeah. I had my pastor, ananga pastor weku Gazaland. Akumukra kona makanika Gazaland. Understand? So 5 days he's working. From Monday to Friday, he's doing well. He's making sure that money comes in his house, in his family, everything. His children are comfortable, they're eating, they're okay. Then Saturday, Sunday, that's when he starts to prepare. Only 2 days, he starts to prepare to preach to you guys on a Sunday. It doesn't work properly. Ask me, I've seen it properly. Understand? But if your pastor wakes up every morning, he goes to pray, he goes to study, he does home visits, he does the work of ministry. Some of it is even writing. If you see today I wrote a lot of things. This is my notes. Studying and writing. Things that when I start to tell you, you'll be happy and excited. Say, the man of God is feeding us. But the reason why I do that is because there are people that have paid their tithe. They have secured an office for their man of God. The man of God's wife is comfortably eating food if she has to eat. She's doing what are the things that she has to do. The man of God has gotten in, he's studying, he's praying, he's now coming to teach. So this is why I said to the other guys, I had some pastors from AFM. I think it was Apostle Kudachi Washira. I was telling him, I said, Babaka, some of you guys are very lazy, too lazy for no reason. He said, well, I said, you can't be on a salary, fully paid, and not even have one book that you've written. I put pressure on him. I put too much pressure on him. I started to say, but by God's grace, he's written so many books. I like him. But the principle was, after all that has been provided for you, you can't then not work as a pastor. But if it's not provided, giving yourself to the work of ministry will be difficult. You understand? So the tithe comes now to address many of those things, even in the house of the Lord. Do I have a church here? Yes. The subject of the tithe is very long when we consider it in so many details. There are other things I can actually say, but I want to maybe measure and close on that one and say that when we are responsible with our tithe, our church will experience growth spiritually, numerically, financially. You understand? Yes, financially the church will experience growth. There are certain things that we didn't even have to raise an offering in church to go and buy. I remember there was a time where we had to buy a keyboard. I didn't even raise an offering. I didn't even say we need to raise a special offering. I just said the keyboard is what? $342. Okay, it's fine. There is money there. Take that from the tithe. We're going to buy. Do I have a church here? Yes. Now when the musicians sing, they sing happily. They're excited. Praise be to God. The keyboard is playing. You also are enjoying good quality music. Why? Because the people have paid their tithe. So Deuteronomy 12 verse 11. Then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name. There you are to bring everything I command you. Your burnt offerings, your sacrifice, your tithe, your special gifts, and all the choice possessions you have vowed to the Lord. You give it to God. Any questions? Any questions? Does anybody have a question? You've got a question? Okay, thank you, please. The microphone is coming. If you're online, you've got a question, please write it, let's see it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Bishop.
Good afternoon.
In our street, pane mari yatinoti ndeyekushesha kana kuti yemadhiri inenzwa tithe here.
Explain how that money comes. What happens with it? Because I may not understand.
Like, chair in the one and $3. And it's in the one they supply our customer $10. Marriage units what tithe here.
Yes. You okay? Did you steal from the customer?
No.
Okay, so you went, you found a chair that's costing $3.
Yes.
Then you put your markup
yes.
$7. That's your markup. Yes, you must give 70 cents to the Lord.
Okay.
It's a tithe. It's as long as you didn't steal from someone.
Yeah.
That one who bought it for $10 wanted to pay $10. It's not your fault. Are you tracking with me? Yeah. If you had sold it to them for $3, they would have not bought it. They would have said, I don't trust this one. Understand? So if you're a middleman and you're making your money, pay your tithe. Yeah, pay your tithe very much. And the only money that I don't know whether it should come for tithe or not is money that you steal. I don't know whether I'm allowed to receive money stolen. Understand? I don't know. I don't have a Bible verse to say money stolen. The Bible verses that I have for money are the one that you've worked for, the works of your hands. So if you're a negotiator, you broker a deal between Russia and Zimbabwe, and the Russians give you a cut, the Zimbabweans give you your cut. Go and pay your tithe. You understand? Yes. I know, Zino, yeah, Zino not to tithe. Yes, all right. Thank you for that question. Any other questions before we stand? Let's stand and pray. Tomorrow we'll try and finish off. The subject of giving is very long. Yes, please feel free to ask. Yes, please. Shona is fine. Don't worry. I'll interpret it for a live audience somewhere.
like ndinenge ndichiuya kunoku kandichidzidza kunoku zvimwe zvinhu zvandei ndichidzidza kunoku pamwe kuchechi kwedu hatimbowana mukana wekuita sei wokuzvidzidziswa handiti ndobva ndaona kuti kunoku like you were saying to this other guy akauya akati ndoda kupai because hazvi kunyatsofai ndoti ndoda kuuya kuzoisa tithe kunoku ndekuti ndokuri kuita zvinhu zvangu zviita sei zvifambe sometimes kune kuri kusaziva like you were saying to you were seeing this other lady kuti makamurambira kuti akati zvonini handitya that was wrong anga asina zivo she didn't know mumwe munhu ini ndadzidza personally mandibatsira stereki because ndadzidza.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, okay, thank you. Yeah, it's true. That's true. The only challenge with that, right, if you check, I've never asked you at the Excellence Hour to give me a tithe. Have I ever asked them to give a tithe? I've never, right? Yeah, it's a deliberate decision. I've never asked you to say, pay your tithe. But I'll ask you to give an offering. When there are special conferences, I'll ask you to sow a seed. Last time, Mantengo just came of his own volition. He said, Bishop, I didn't see you receive an offering for the Night of Excellence, but I want to partner with it because those are Christian principles that must be done. The reason why then is also because God honors my ministry by standing on the truth. Because if I lie and do nothing stops me from lying. You know that if I hold this microphone, I tell you that your tithe must be in my pocket. Because I am an anointed, you give it. Trust me, I know how to collect money. I'm good at it. But I cannot then violate the integrity of God's scripture on account of money. It's called lasciviousness. It's called being greedy. Yes. So, yes, people will not know. That's why we then have to teach. As much as the ministry is blessing you, you are allowed to take out an offering. Sometimes even to prepare a special seed. Say, Bishop's appreciation is coming. I want to give a big seed in honor of what he's doing. And the Lord will bless you. The Lord will bless you abundantly because that's how God has created the system. So, Spirit of the living God, now, we command a blessing on this knowledge. As I pray today and I ask you to give us grace, to give us understanding, to ensure that we feed on this correctly. Bless these people, give them grace as they go, that they may be able to harvest on the word that they have learned. Let them spread their wings as they feed others as well. We give you praise in Jesus' name. The church said amen. All right, the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you. Let's meet again tomorrow. Go ahead and use the green baskets if you have to. It's bye-bye for now.